of course, the computer team needs to work along with that. Why? Computers guys doesn't understand machines. They don't understand electronics. And these are the things which are actually bringing our data. How many of you attend, how many of you seen the AI Summit news? Nalgotia? Isn't it a great example of that of the robot as we are seeing, right? It's a good example of mechanical, electronics, and AI. That's just a POC. But you can just think of how you can innovate the solutions in the future, okay, which can drastically change all across the fields. In manufacturing, in the aviation department, and so to start with,
let's see what it's like to move around LA without a driver.
Thanks to Waymo for partnering on this video.
Car is less than a minute away now. There it is, the Waymo driverless car. We obviously have tons of camera ready for pickup. Door handles extend, open up. Cool.
isn't it engineering? Isn't it mechanical? Isn't it electronics? Right? That's the topic over here, right? Interdisciplinary advanced in mechanical, electronic, and computer engineering. Right? And that's what actually we are here to mean. Okay. So, can computer engineering, that's what actually I was surprised, only computer guys are here, okay. I think this session will helpful for even then it actually increases the interest of mechanical and as well as electronics guys, because that's the industry going to be in next couple of years. It's not just AI computer engineer, because AI computer guys needs to know mechanical, and they need to work together as an interdisciplinary, specifically for knowing the sensor. So that's actually if you take a look at how the transformation is happening. First thing, if you take a look at where we used to be, which is called deterministic engineering, mechanics, fixed logic, rule engine, predictable operations, right? Okay. Now, as actually it has been evolved, okay, which has led to identifying, having the sensors who actually collects the data. Now, when actually you see in the driverless car, you see in the auto parking car, right? It has the specific sensors. It has like, anybody can't do actually wave and park. Okay? It only recognizes that its owner is asking for parking. At that time, it is actually knowing what actually direction where to park, right? In India, if you take a look at almost all the motors, like Tata Motors, MG, others, okay? Everybody is coming with ADAS. ADAS 1, ADAS 2, and we will actually reach after a certain period where you only have ADAS, no drivers. Right? But still, it is not possible without certain things. So I will actually explain this. AI is not so, we always feel that AI is going to do everything. AI doesn't do everything. Okay? So, AI adapts based on what actually you have trained. Okay, so rule engines are getting replaced with the machine learning models. Okay, how many of you know machine learning models? How many of you created your own machine learning models? Anybody? No, okay, no issues. Now, when I actually talk about interdisciplinary interdisciplinary advancement. Okay, so that's where software engineering, the computer engineering comes in picture to connect with all this part. Whether the students who are actually doing the artificial intelligence, students who are doing data analytics, students who are actually doing the electronics, students who are doing the mechanical engineering, that's what actually is built as a software engineering together to build the intelligence system. So all the solutions what actually you see right now, autopilot, this is mainly a software engineering, but with support of mechanical and electronics. And that this is how actually it's evolving now. The engineering system has become the data generators. Okay. So engineering systems are mainly machines, sensors, embedded devices, industrial assets. Up to now, most of the computer engineers, okay, when they clear their exams, okay, they always have one dream that they should get the job in MNC. Right? Does anybody has any other dreams? Does anybody has any other dreams? Your first year, second year, last year, which year you are in?
Combined.
First, second. Oh, I think this question should have been for third and fourth year. But I think this is a good start for you guys. Okay. The reason why I'm saying, because we always think one part is we will always be work for somebody, right? Okay. Now, why India and China different? Anybody wants to? What is the difference between India and China? What actually changed China to be a superpower?
They don't want to work under it.
Huh?
They don't want to work under it. They want to build something here.
Yes. So, so they always thought, yeah, we can give it to anybody has different thoughts. Okay? So that's where, as an engineer, you have to start thinking not to get the good marks. Because also, all the engineers, they always look for getting the good marks so that they can get the jobs. I think most of you must have seen 3 Idiots. Sonam, I don't have to say his name, right? Everybody knows him, right? Rancho. That's a Sonam Monsoon. What was different between you and Sonam Monsoon? What is the difference between you and Sonam Monsoon? As an engineer, what is the meaning of engineer? First of all, engineering meaning is that you have to start thinking, creating something new. And as you are in first year and second year, this is the opportunity for you to do it. Now, as we have seen, AI is doing everything right. However, AI is not always correct. AI is not always correct. Okay. How many of you following the Middle East crisis at this moment? How many of you following the Middle East crisis now? Not for the gas prices, but for AI. For AI. Yes, please.
Missiles which were automatically targeting. Let's say AI was fixing the locations, and then after that, the military they confirmed it and then they shot it.
Yes, that's the process which actually happens. So you can see that when any missile is getting fired, it's not AI only. Mechanical, electronic computers. Of course, with the AI. And only after the human approval. But still, when your data is incorrect, this kind of incidents happens. How many of you know that AI miscalculated, done the slide on the wrong data, which led to 160 see young girls got killed in the latest strike, right? So that's a drawback. So what do you mean by that? How actually are you going to solve? So AI is not going to solve the problem, but there is something is required on top of it. There are not only that, there are many other scenarios. I think you must have heard like Tesla car actually hitting somebody, driverless car actually hitting somebody. Do you think that Tesla car will work in public traffic? Why? Because we don't follow any rules, right? AI is not made for that. And if AI actually wants to follow that, it will actually not up to the speed to reach that, right? Because a driver in left and right is so unpredictable, correct? And that's the way actually this happens, right? Similarly, if you take a look at how many of you use ChatGPT? Almost everybody. And it must be hallucinating you all the time, right? Correct? Correct, guys? So, these are the failures of AI as well. So, I will just give a simple example to you. Let me hear from you guys. We have a car, right? Why do you think car has a gears? Anything? Why? Car has a brakes and gears. Any suggestions? Why? Please. You can sit and say that. To control. To control. Why do you need a control?
Not controlled properly, it can hit it. If not controlled properly, the car can hit anybody, and it can cause damage to humans.
Yes. So what actually the brake and the gear does to a car which you are driving is actually putting the controls in place and as well as putting the governance on that particular car, how actually it is driving. Okay. So that you know that guaranteed you will be successful. Right? But of course, if you want to have an accident, you will have an accident because that's a human. And that's where if you look at and that's where when AI is getting generated, okay, AI can make a similar kind of mistakes. Okay. So similar to that to avoid that to happen. Sorry. You can see on the top. And that's what actually the governance and assurance. So what? You have so many indicators on your car dashboards. Okay. Right? And that's what actually governance and assurance does. And if you don't have a governance and assurance on the AI, it might go. I think you must have seen the movie called Terminator. What happened in that?
Robot has gone corrupted. And in future, robots have got corrupted and gone against the humans.
Yes. Do you know recently something happened in the very big thing happened in the US or in the world? Pentagon. I hope everybody knows Pentagon, right? You know Anthropics. Anthropics, which is a leading on top. Everybody must be knowing OpenAI because of the ChatGPT, right? But from AI perspective and the quality output of AI, you get it using cloud from Anthropics. That is considered to be much superior than what actually the ChatGPT is. And it actually created a software which can replace the software engineer himself. He created a software which can actually replace the human for writing the code. So recently, when actually the war was going on, Donald Trump asked very specifically to Anthropics to remove the governance part. What? Remove the governance part and as well as the ethical AI part from its AI so that they can make use of AI and embed that AI in all the military components. Sky-Fi, right? Which is a Terminator, right? Skynet. And Anthropics clearly said, I doesn't want to move away from ethical AI and governance. Correct? Unfortunate part, OpenAI CEO said he is going to do that. So what can be possible now in future? America can have a robot as a machine, which actually you see as a part of Terminator. It's possible, right? Because I think you must have seen an AI event was happening in India. Okay, there was welcome happened for German Chancellor in China, where the robots actually played the complete on the music. Okay. And that actually was not even possible for human beings, which was played by the robots. Okay. So that's what I've been saying, that the world is moving so fast. And that's where actually as a computer engineers, you need to see that how actually you're going to embed that as early as possible with this part. Because if you actually stay and say that you only will do computer engineering, Anthropics already wrote, okay, many of the people, and I think you can connect with your third year and fourth year students, friends, they will say that the code is directly getting generated by ChatGPT. If a code is getting generated using a ChatGPT, then why actually you need a developer in the company? I get your point. So you have to think from that angle that how you can actually think differently. Again, I am saying you, this is the best time for any engineer to work. Because they can actually dream it and they can build it, which was not possible in the previous years, right? Now we are reached to such advance, and that's the reason why China is actually moving so fast ahead of us. Okay. So when actually we are doing this AI building, we need to see that model accuracy, robust and noise data, and that actually the problem was the American strike on the school. Okay. Fault tolerance, validation, they need to have. So if I want to actually run a Tesla car on the bullet traffic, I need to have a scalability. I need to have that huge data that I can actually predict what actually my left and right hand side two-wheeler can do or rickshaw can do, right? And that's what actually we need to think. System integration, okay. If you know how to integrate with all the machines, all the components, that is possible. And as well as you need to keep on retraining your models whatever you build. I think as you are in first year, the model might be actually, you might not be knowing what actually the model training and retraining. Okay. As you go in the third year or second year, okay, you will understand about the models, which is mainly machine learning models. So I hope you have data modeling and data analytics as a subject, as part of engineering. That's a core of it. That's a core of it. Okay. But I will say that you should focus more on the application of it instead of actually a technology, because technology keep on changing, application will never. that's it. I think that's it. So these are the certain things that actually you need to do. Thank you. Any questions? What about questions? Any questions?
Sir, as you said, Anthropic just denied the conditions of Donald Trump tax and environment discovery. तो उसके लिए जो जैसा कि आपने बोला कि अगर जो फ्यूचर टाइम है उस टाइम में तो हमें जो सोल्जर्स की जगह हमें रोबोट्स वॉर करते हुए दिखेंगे। तो जैसे कि आपने बताया कि इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स भी इम्पोर्टेंट है और मैकेनिक्स भी उतना ही इम्पोर्टेंट है। तो क्या हमारे पास ऐसे हार्डवेयर और सॉफ्टवेयर बनाने की टेक्निक्स अभी है और अगर नहीं है तो उसके लिए कितना टाइम अभी जाएगा या फिर कितना मतलब कपल ऑफ इयर्स होंगे, क्या होगा और उस टेक्नोलॉजी से हम कितनी इयर्स दूर है और एक्सपेक्टेड क्या है कि कितने साल में बन जाए एंड इंडिया का इस पे स्टैंड क्या है और इंडियन एआई जो कि बन रहे हैं जैसे सर्वम एआई वगैरह जो है तो वो इस सब्जेक्ट में क्या उनका स्टैंड है?
Very good question. Additional information. Any idea who is building the Israel zone? He has his plan in now. When you say, do we have the infrastructure or the capability to build that? I will say yes and no. When I say yes, most of the hardware has been built keeping ethical AI in picture. But you cannot never trust any politician or any dictators, okay, how actually can make use of AI. They might actually officially they might be showing you a completely ethical AI based robots. At the back end, they might be building, right? So what is required? I will just give an example to you. The robot in the Terminator, the first version, which actually Arnold was, right? I think that technology exists now. We know how to build a machine. We know how automatically trigger the machine gun, right? We have all the electronics to see, visualize, make a differentiation. We can actually even recognize the people in the data, right? So when you have everything, you can build that. So the level of what actually Arnold was, okay, that technology exists. Okay. Even Indian government is working along with, sorry, not Indian government, ISRO is working along with the China, specifically to see that how they can actually work together with the Chinese company, okay, to make use of the same robot, which they can actually send it on their next Mongolia. Okay. So instead of actually rover, it is mainly the figure which will be more intelligent and more. Did I answer your question? Yeah. Any other question, please? Like as I said to you, this is the best time to go on as an engineer. You know, when we actually started our career, we didn't have anything. In 1990, I cleared my engineering in 1996. Okay. We didn't have anything. We didn't have any opportunity. Now you have tons and tons and opportunities. But I am not saying that when I say opportunity, you can be on your own. And to start with that, like the Facebook owner, what is the name of Facebook owner? Is he engineer? Is he start the Microsoft when actually he was engineer? No, right? They had that kind of environment in US that time. We have current right time for our engineers in India. Okay, and that's only can take India ahead of China. If we follow the same, if we follow the service industry, we are doomed. I'm telling you, it will be doomed. A few years back, I think when you guys might be in the fourth or fifth standard, okay, telecallers was a very big job, very big opportunity in India. Now you don't find telecallers jobs in India. Why? They've been replaced by the Philippines. 2 years back, we had a Samsung assembly business in Noida. That job we actually lost it to Vietnam. You get my point? So, when you are in the service industry, you will only depend on the giver. Be a giver instead of a taker. You get my point? And this is a time actually you have a very good opportunity to think yourself what actually you can do. And if it is required, okay, people like us can actually come and guide you very specifically how you can build something of your own. Yeah, you have a question, sorry.
Well, sir, during your presentation, you asked why China is ahead of us. So, my answer is that because of education system. Because the education system plays a vital role in producing this mechanical, electronic, and computer engineering students. And even we are from different fields, but still, Indian education system doesn't allow us to work together during our college days. It's like if over here also, if an electronic student is present here, still, I don't know what he does or how can I take this and embed in my model. So my question is, how can we promote more Chinese education system in India and get this all fields work together?
Very valid point. Maybe it might be happening in the colleges which are under the institutions. Chinese education is the government funds it. But we have great funders, which is our parents. So our parents are ready to fund for us, and as well as there are small investors who are actually funding for the such initiatives. Now, as you mentioned that how actually we can work together with the all these groups, right? It's happening. It's happening with the IITs. Nobody is stopping. If you ask me, nobody is stopping. अभी तक आपने कोई और ट्राई किया ही नहीं. आप जाके आपके HOD को पूछो कि हमें एक साथ में काम करना है. You want to make as a team. They are not going to say no. They are not going to say no. Okay. Only thing is that Chinese industry, if you take it, is mainly focused on the entrepreneurship focus. Again, I said, our focus was more on a service-based focus. Now, till the time actually we don't move away ourselves from service-based focus to the entrepreneurial focus. Start thinking of ourselves कि मैं क्या बना सकता हूँ. इंडिया में उसका एडॉप्शन गवर्नमेंट की तरफ से 0 है. If you are going to explain, see Chinese government. This topic about Chinese education, Indian education, it becomes more important. That's why I don't want to say anything. But I think you know better. Yeah. But did I answer your question? Please.
My topic is,
Yeah, please.
as you said earlier, that humans can be replaced by AI or robots. Humans can be replaced by AI or robots. In this era, if we need soldiers as robots, it cannot be done. It is, I mean, like Indian Army is a little bit polite, moral values, and everything cannot be get in robots. It cannot be done. So how can we compare humans and robots?
But as I said to you, as a human, it doesn't allow you to build the robots mechanically. Getting your point? It is main purpose is that. However, for a dictator, it doesn't matter. Are you getting my point? If a dictator is there, he doesn't care, right? He needs to reduce his expenses. He wants to have a Tanzania Australia 75. Bro, anybody has any question in Marathi, Hindi, they can come out. No problem. कोणाला मराठीमध्ये प्रश्न विचारायचे असतील ते विचारू शकतात. So don't hesitate. Like students, you have to ask questions. जब तक आप क्वेश्चन पूछोगे नहीं तब तक आपको क्लैरिटी नहीं आएगा. How many of you seen the now people are making the movies using AI? Right? So nowadays, previously you might be seeing the calendars with the models, right? Now AI can design the models better than what actually real-time models are, and they are much cheaper. I get your point. That's where the going. But you need to think it very specifically from how AI can make life easy for you. An application of it. Yeah. Any questions, please?
So as we are talking about the robot materials, right? So there will be robots in hospitals or in hotels or in our surroundings. So is it safe for us? Because we cannot trust on robots, we cannot trust on machines, right? So what about safety?
Very valid question, and that's where governance come into picture. That's where actually the governance come into picture, where it is always too much in the, and my book, which actually I wrote, is AI governance, body of knowledge. And as well as I am a co-founder of Responsible AI Foundations of India. Okay. Specifically for that purpose. Okay. Now, just to give a background to you, doctors are the people who are going to get impacted. Similar way, actually, the engineers are going to get impacted. Developers. Okay. You will see that, I don't know how many of you or how many of your parents, when they get the medical reports, how many of you actually uploaded medical report on ChatGPT and asked questions? My brother-in-law, he is a neurologist, endocrinologist and neurologist in Pune itself. Even though he is a gold medalist in neurology in Maharashtra state, he always says that I always see that whether whatever the recommendation I made, whether they are correct or not. Okay. Whether I missed out anything. Reason behind it, AI is working based on the data you provide. Are you getting my point? As well as I will say that before actually I got my doctorate from Manipal. Okay. I actually applied it at Symbiosis. I failed in the interview. Reason behind it, they are actually trying to build our models specifically to identify the cancer detection. Radiology. People have been saying that radiology will extinct. Will it extinct? The reason behind it, you have so many permutation and combination, but at certain point in time, after a certain point in time, when actually you have all the permutation and combination data available, AI will provide you a better results. Only thing is that how that applies to a human being that will be monitored by the doctor. Just for your information, my family, other than me, everybody is doctor. And that's the challenge. I don't have any, see, my doctorate doesn't have any value for my profile. You're getting my point? I have in my family around 15 doctors are there. My wife, my daughter was all India topper in 10 in 2017. Now she is doing eye specialization. My son just actually cleared his knee. He took the admission for dental. But again, I am saying you that you need to, when you are seeing the AI, you have to see AI not from a technology perspective. You need to see the AI from the application perspective. And that can be very simple as well. You might actually see a pen, or you might see a printer, which can actually write your assignments in 90 possible, right? Based on its data, say how you write. You feed the data, and it actually will write and print everything, the answers the way actually you want it. So your assignments are done in a day. लेकिन यहाँ पे apply मत करो. Yeah. Any questions? Backbenchers? Backbenchers. I was backbencher. Girls, I think this is the first group where boys are asking questions.
So coming to my point,
Yeah, please.
about architect robots and the removals. I think robots cannot get moral values and all like
Wars जो है अभी आप देखिए